Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Missy and today we are going through my TBR for the Adventure Through Wonderland Readathon. Honestly, I wanted to go find the coolest, quaintest little place to do this and make it all mythical, and it didn't happen. But I'm in my backyard, the cicadas are singing, the birds are chirping, the wind is blowing. Let's just take it for the magic that is being outside. No matter where you are able to be outside, as long as you are outside safely, that's always a good thing, right? So anyway, I am super duper excited for this readathon. Both Middle Grade Monthly and Touch of Whimsy got together to create this amazing readathon. I love Middle Grade Readathon since I did the first Believeathon. Have been hooked ever since, so excited to focus on some more middle grades for September. And there is this amazingly beautiful map, which I can also pop up here. So essentially you're going to deep dive into Wonderland. So the first book is to go down the rabbit hole, which is to read a book set in another world. And actually most of mine are, so it was an easy pick. But for read a book set in another world, I'm going to read Wonderscape by Jennifer Bell. I don't know a ton about this other than it's like game-ish. I think somebody described it as Ready Player One meets something, and that got me right there. Like, if there's a middle grade type of Ready Player One, I'm in. So I'm super excited for this one. I just got it in the mail last week. Cannot wait to get to this one. So the next book is to read an aesthetically pleasing book. As you know, middle grades, the covers are always beautiful, but I am going to read The Ship of Shadows. I don't know if you can see the reflection, but it's seriously stunning. Look at this. So pretty. I also don't know a ton about this. Same with most books, don't really love the synopsis. But Alex Bell, who wrote the Polar Bear Explorers blurbed this one, and I love it. A mysterious ship arrives in her Spanish harbor city, crewed by a band of ruthless women. Heck yes! Aaliyah knows it sailed right out of a legend, and it wants her. So excited for this. The next prompt is to make yourself a cozy reading snack. So I think I'm going to try to find a Wonderland inspired treat to make, so you'll end up seeing that one in the vlog. The next one is the White Rabbit's House, and that's to pick a book for a cozy night in. So for that one, I picked Mr. Lemoncello's Library. This was just a completely random pick. I was buying the next book, and it was like a buy one get one 50% off at Barnes & Noble. So I grabbed this one because it just sounded so fun. I don't really know. A world famous game maker has designed the town's new library and is having an invitation only lock-in on the first night. That sounds amazing. I would so do anything to be part of that. Okay, the next one is The Queen of Hearts Palace, and that is pick a book you'll think you'll love. And I'm going to pick The Train to Impossible Places. This is actually the group book as well, and I had bought it like a week before this readathon was announced, so fate, 100% fate. So I'm so excited. I just know that it like goes through different worlds, a boy trapped in a snow globe, a girl who's about to go on the adventure of a lifetime. So excited for it. It was actually the book of the month at Barnes & Noble for this month, I think August as well. So excited to get into this one. And then the last prompt is to pick a strange and mysterious book. This was another just random book I bought that same day at Barnes & Noble. I was into getting all of the middle grade books, and it's The Mysterious Benedict Society. When a peculiar ad appears in the newspaper, dozens of children enroll to take a series of mysterious mind-bending tests, and then only very special children succeed. I kind of feel like it's maybe kind of like a school for like special children like Miss Peculiar or Every Heart a Doorway kind of thing, but obviously a different type. But it's kind of a chunker, but I'm so excited for it. So those are all of my prompts. So definitely so excited for what I have on my TBR. But I didn't want to leave you hanging in case you haven't planned out your TBR yet. So I decided to write a list of the books that I've read that I think would fit your prompts. So here are some recommendations for each of the prompts. So set in another world. In that one, Train to Impossible Places is going to work for everything. I haven't read this, but the hosts really are super excited about it. Wonderscape would also work for that one. Like I said, haven't read it, but you sure could grab it too. Other ones I have read, and I'm just going to kind of go through these really quick because I have a lot of recommendations. So set in another world, you could read Orion Lost, which is a sci-fi fantasy. All these kids are in a space station with their parents, and they go into like hyperdrive and go to sleep, but the parents don't wake up, and the kids have to figure out what's going on and how to save themselves. The Strangers. There are a family that I think it's 1 girl and 2 boys, I think, and they find out that siblings that are the exact same age, exact same birthdays as them, go missing, and then their mother starts to get really weird, and so leaves, and they're staying with a friend, and they have to try to figure out, like, piece together the puzzle of what's actually going on with those other children who are remarkably similar to them. Gloom Town. This one is about a boy who starts to go work for a older man in town, and things just aren't working out the way they should. The town is very dreary and mysterious, and he's starting to think that this guy is up to no good. The School for Good and Evil is about like a fairy tale school. 2 girls get kidnapped one night and brought to the schools for good and evil. It doesn't work out the way they think, and they're switched to the schools they think they should go to, and lots of craziness ensues, but it's super fun. And Wondersmith, which is the second book in a trilogy. So if you haven't read Nevermore, you're gonna want to wait and read Nevermore first. But if you've read Nevermore or looking for a way to fit Wondersmith in, it's perfect. It's a place that is completely different than where we live, right? Okay, on to the next prompt. Aesthetically pleasing. Aesthetically pleasing is a very open prompt, and because really it's what do you think? I think any of these books could be aesthetically pleasing that I picked, and anything you love, but here are a couple that I do love. Tilly in the Book Wanderers. Tilly finds out that she can actually wander through books. She starts meeting Anne of Green Gables and Alice from Alice in Wonderland, and also has a missing mother that maybe isn't so missing, maybe is so missing. You gotta figure it out. There's a bee on my camera. A Pinch of Magic. This is about 3 sisters who find... Look at, this is a bee. Go away. Pinch of Magic has 3 sisters. They find out that they have a little magic in them, and they go on an adventure. The Girl Who Stole an Elephant is set in, I believe it's a jungle Indian-esque place, and she ends up stealing an elephant and going into the jungle with an adventure with a couple other kids, so very cute. The Girl Who Drank the Moon is about a town that would sacrifice a child by giving it to the witch, thinking that was saving them somehow, but the witch was actually feeding these children stars and giving them to the next town over to raise, because she wasn't sure what was going on either. But then this child, she accidentally gave her the moon to drink, and she turned into magic. So very whimsical, very cute. And then the last one is the Greenglass House. That's always super hard for me to say. That is a mysterious hotel in the middle of nowhere, like super hard to get to, so some shady characters are normally the ones that stay there. The next is A Book for a Cozy Night In. And I kind of went all over with this because I think anybody's like aesthetically pleasing. It's really up to you what you think is cozy. The first one is The Land of Roar. This is a set of kids who come back to visit their grandparents and remember the imaginative play they did as children and this whole world that they had created as children. But then they find out that maybe it wasn't imaginary. So very fun little adventure, and definitely a quick book that you could finish just at night. Easy, like laying in bed. The next one is The Lonely Heart of Mabel Lane. Mabel's father has never been in the picture. She lives with her mother, and she's always wondered about him and wanted to know more about him. So she decides to kind of go on a road trip without telling the lady she is staying with what's really going on, and has to learn some life lessons along the way. The next one is The Polar Bear Explorers Club. I love this. The book is hilarious. A girl and her like adoptive father end up going on an adventure into the frozen tundra. It's hilarious, it's witty, and I just feel like cozy nights in are very much like those polar reads that Jade loves. Like those all to me seem like cozy because you want to cozy up and read that cool book. And then Frostheart, along those same lines, a polar read. A boy has this magical ability that people actually think is a curse and a detriment. So he ends up leaving with this ship of interesting characters, and leviathans are chasing them. Very fun, action-packed, and the illustrations are amazing. And finally, City of Ghosts. This is another one where it's like Halloween-y and fall, and you just want to cozy up and read. The main character can talk to ghosts. Her best friend is a ghost, and she always kind of gets into these places where there's a lot of ghosts because her parents are going to cities and doing ghost research. Books you will love. A Sprinkle of Sorcery, which is the second in the Pinchos MAGIC. If you like not only the girls learning they have magical history, but also adding in pirates, A+. Amelia Fang and the Barbaric Ball. Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin introduced me to Amelia Fang when he did a whole vlog about reading all of the Amelia Fang books. They are so cute, they're so quirky, the illustrations are perfect, and they're super fast reads. So if you need a quick, easy read, because you know, sometimes middle grades can be bigger than others, those ones I totally suggest. I've only read the first 3, I think, in the series, 2 or 3, but I think there's 8 of them. So far they've all been excellent. Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Obviously, if you like those adventures and you like Greek mythology, I'm sure you've heard of Percy Jackson. I had read it a while ago, like way long ago, and never continued with the series. So during a readathon earlier this year, I read them all and really enjoyed them. They're super fun. If you want to get, you know, those kind of Harry Potter vibes with the kids and the friendship and fighting and adventure without like the magic. I don't know, it's kind of magic. Without the magic school, just have a camp instead. It is a perfect read. The next one is Nevermore. Nevermore is one of my favorites too. So essentially a girl is about to die, like have a death day, and a man randomly comes and grabs her and takes her to a whole nother world. But then in that world, she has to prove that she should be there. There's crazy people, there's trials. Like I always love like needing to go through a trial and succeed, and so very much fun. I know a lot of people kind of like say if you like Harry Potter, you're gonna like Nevermore. I don't feel like they're necessarily the same at all, but just genre wise, if you like that magical fantasy, that's a good one for you. And the last one in that category is Wonder. And if you've never read Wonder, I implore you to read it during this readathon because it's amazing and life-changing. It gives you an inside view into a boy who has facial dysplasia, I think it's called, and how he has been treated. He goes from being homeschooled until 5th grade until going into a public school. Some people are great and like can see past his differences and treat him like he should be treated, and some people are horrible. This book has made me so angry at parents and the way they're raising children. And it actually changed one of the biggest things in my life I'm doing as raising my son, because there's a quote in the back of Wonder at the end from the guy who wrote Peter Pan, saying, if at all possible, be kinder than necessary. And so that is the mantra I'm raising my son with. Like, every day I tell him to be the kindest boy in the room, and just really raising him to have that amazing gentle spirit. So Wonder is such a great book. If you haven't read it, please put it in your TBR for Wonderland, or yeah, for Wonderland or the upcoming Believe-a-thon when that gets released, because it's a must read. And then finally is Strange and Mysterious Books. I feel like some of my notes are gone. Some of my notes are gone, but some Strange and Mysterious Books. The Extremely Inconvenient Adventures of Emily Bronte. I loved that. It's so essentially her parents pass away, and in the will she's given all these random gifts to give to her aunts that she's never met, and she's required to travel alone as a 10-year-old to meet all these aunts and give them the gift. And she starts to learn about the world she grew up in and who she's around, so it was very interesting. Well, my notes got cut off, so I'll throw up some more pictures if I can figure out what else I had on my list, so sorry about that. And I did find the quote when I was trying to get my notes to come back. So the quote from Wonder is, "Shall we make a new rule of life from tonight? Always try to be a little kinder than is necessary." I would love it if you would subscribe below and become part of the Priory, and I will see you in the next video.